Hey everyone, welcome back to some more Let's Play Underrail. Was confused what game I fired up apparently. In the last video, we completed Jack Quicksilver's quest for Southgate Station with Linux Pierce, discovering that Modre was behind his brother's assassination there, a member of the Stalkers, a group of assassins hired by or under the employ of Biocorp's old leadership. And Modre took revenge for some of his stalker friends being killed by Patrick Pierce when he was a member of Operation Banishment. We also then came back here and told Jack Quicksilver about the 2 quests that we completed for his organization, and now it's time for us to get the last one completed. So let's head on out to the entrance of Core City and meet with the gentleman there who has been probably very patiently been waiting for us there for the past, about like a week's worth of time, if probably more, since we took care of all of Foundry's problems after we had agreed to do the Jack Quicksilver quest. And I am already out of things to talk about. Alright, come on, Tim. What can you talk about while we walk out here? So I think I've mentioned in the past that I was recording Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, and I had to scrap the original recording of it because of other sound issues I had during that recording. And in the end, I'm really glad that I didn't keep it, because I had to understand some more of that game's combat mechanics first. A tricky part about recording a game is that if ever I record it blind, which was the case for Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, it means that when I begin making mistakes or so on, some of these mistakes are likely caused by my not understanding how things work in the game. The stealth mechanic in particular was something I really didn't get right away. So it's my fancy way of saying that I am super glad that I am not recording it blind, because holy crap, that would have been really painful to watch. And before we talk more about that, let's talk with Ohad Zander here. The pale man stands still, casually observing his surroundings. He sees you approaching him and thoroughly inspects you with a stare as warm as a glacier, all the while remaining silent. You quickly pick up that he is waiting for you to initiate the conversation. Jack Quicksilver sent me. Good. I have work for you. You already know my name, I'm sure, so I see no point in repeating it. I'll just get straight down to business. A trader called Daniel Arda has just disembarked from the train on this very station and, knowing his usual routine, is either dealing with the local merchants or drinking himself into a stupor at the Hardcore City bar. Daniel has recently added a new product to his assortment, a drug called Hercules, which allegedly increases the user's combat performance, and quite substantially. I believe it's all bogus, and I want you to perform an investigation. If I'm right, and what he does is indeed a fraud, I want him publicly exposed and, therefore, humiliated. I want every living soul in Core City to know what kind of man Daniel Arda is and what he is doing. I hope I was clear enough. The rest is up to you. I'll be here if you have more questions. Once the job is done, I will be leaving. What can you tell me about him? The most important thing you need to know about Daniel is that the man is a compulsive liar. He will lie about anything, whether it's important or not, so keep that in mind when dealing with him. And he seems to be getting away with it thanks to his constant traveling, and perhaps also due to the fact that he trades mostly in minor things, at least up until now. As for his habits, I only know that he enjoys visiting bars, drinking, and watching violent sports. Well, it sounds like we'll meet him at the Hardcore City bar then. Later. Yes. I'm not going to bother asking Ohad about anything else because it all seems rather pointless, to be quite honest. We don't need to know anything about him. We don't really even need to know why he wants him dead or exposed. Our task from Jack Quicksilver is do this quest. Do what he wants. And I will make the assumption that the organization that Jack Quicksilver is working for has determined that that quest should be done, and we are interested in joining his organization. So, we don't really need to know anymore. In fact, it's probably better for our conscience if maybe we don't know more about why we're doing what we're doing. But so far, what I find interesting is that we helped free an assassin from Foundry Prison. We helped Linux Pierce discover who actually killed his brother, which sent Modred back into hiding. And now we are going to expose Daniel Arda, someone who is possibly selling a very dangerous drug. And this organization has agreed to stop that, either for ethical reasons or for monetary. It seems like this organization is willing to do just about anything. I'm sorry, whoa, that's a really wrong statement to say. They are not necessarily bad or good. Actually, I don't know if I can classify Oculus, which is a group we will be working for soon, what their moral compass is. But it seems to me it would probably work with Decker and his attitude, because Decker is very cavalier about the groups mercenary about who he decides to work with. And this is Daniel. And I'm just going to go ahead and just take his drug. We're not even going to talk with them. Let's take a look at this. Hercules. It's got a label on it that reads Hercules. Increases the user's strength, dexterity, agility, and constitution by 5 for 10 turns. But at what cost? Well, I think in a similar vein to Foundry, we're not going to be able to find a doctor who will be able to tell us what it does here. However, Southgate Station has Pasquale, a decent doctor, and he is most likely an expert in his fields. So let's bring it back to him, and he'll probably be able to tell us more about it. It occurs to me that this quest for Jack Quicksilver was the easiest one for me to do. With my prior characters, with Garrett. So Garrett was my first playthrough of this game up here on YouTube, and my first time even attempting to do these quests. I had never tried to do these quests for Jack Quicksilver in the past. Mostly because I never stopped by or talked to Abram, so I didn't realize this was even an option. And so, for here, I think I talked with him, and then I picked his pocket, because Garrett was also had that skill. Grabbed the Hercules, and it occurred to me, like, hey, holy crap, we should probably just bring this to Southgate Station, because there's doctors here, and all the people at Southgate Station seem very willing to help when it comes to solving quests for other areas in South Underrail. Once we have this identified, assuming that it does have negative traits to it, we'll then go ahead and figure out a way to broadcast it everywhere. Hello, Decker. Pasquale, I'd like to have a certain substance tested. Sure, I can do that. Please, tell me what this is about. I have a reason to believe that this combat drug called Hercules has negative effects on the human body. I need to have it tested to be sure. Combat drugs? That doesn't sound good. From my experience, administration of such substances is very likely to cause some health problems. But let's do the testing first and see what we're dealing with. Please wait for me to run some tests. It won't take too long. Pasquale leaves the office while you wait. You pass your time by walking around, by playing with the pen he left on his desk, and by looking at the cracks in the ceiling. He returns shortly, as he said he would. At that moment, you somehow forgot where you put that pen you took from the desk. Oh well. This is incredible. You were right about this drug, but calling its effects negative is a huge understatement. The substance, Hercules as you call it, is in essence a mix of different synthetic hormones that act upon various organs and tissues in the body, considerably improving their performance, but only for a short period of time. This bombardment of hormones pushes the body beyond its limit and will cause horrible consequences, perhaps even death, within a relatively short time period, depending on the user. Metabolite saturation in muscles will eventually cause painful cramps. Increased heart rate and blood pressure will cause headaches and possibly lead to cardiac arrest. There's also the loss of concentration. Look, that's only the tip of it. There are also unhealthy amounts of heavy metals in the substance. I dare not to think where and how this is made. How'd you come across this atrocity? Some guy is selling it in Core City. Oh. Oh! I need to expose him. Oh. Just give me the test results. There's no time to lose. Okay, no problem. I hope you know what you're doing. Everything's here. He hands you a flash drive. Thank you, Pasquale. See you around. Maybe we don't want to have too many details about what we are doing said out loud. Jack Quicksilver did mention that his organization has eyes and ears everywhere, and he does mean everywhere. You know, to that end, we have the option of going back to Rail Crossing, South Rail Outpost, and telling the Protectorate Ambassador about the burrower that is in his vents, and possibly exposing Oculus to them. I've never done it on any character of mine, since I believe that Oculus would just have me killed. I'll have to try it on a different character. Okay, so we got the information that this drug is indeed dangerous. The next step, if it was dangerous, was to have Daniel Arda exposed. So, no problem. I think there's two ways we can go about it, and we'll go about it this way. A way I haven't done yet. I know where we can go to access JKK's broadcast system. Right here. And we took the key to this from the worker just outside JKK earlier. Please enter the security password. Attempt to gain access to the system. Access granted. Welcome to JKK Advertisement Control Terminal 6, Core City entrance. Please select one of the options. Add advertisement to rotation. Currently displaying Gauntlet Advertisement 1, Arena Now Advertisement 3. Upload and display the Hercules test results on the advertisement screen. Operation performed successfully. File added to rotation. Okay, not bad. Now, I don't think it actually will change the graphic out here for Gauntlet. Oh, or maybe it does. Gauntlet's, it stopped moving. Ah, darn it. Okay. But it did indeed change them, so I think we can now talk to Ohad, and that quest is done. That was really fast. As you come closer, you see his expression has changed to that of great satisfaction. The frigid stare still remains, however. Perfect. I must say, I enjoy your methods. At first I was surprised when I saw the ads had turned into something quite different than the norm. But after I finally realized what I was looking at... I'm pleased. You can inform Jack that the rest of the money will be transferred to him within hours. As for me, I'll be leaving as of now. So long. So long, Ohad. But first, do you have any Hercules on you, Ohad? I'm just curious. You don't, but you do have 30 coins. You know what? Well, thank you for the very generous tip, Ohad. You didn't have to. You didn't have to, but it would be rude of me to refuse such an offer, given that I know you made it in earnest. Yes, yep, absolutely. Thank you. We'll put that to good use buying a TV for our player housing much later on. Cat! Thank you. Okay. Alright, so that's the last of it, everyone. Let's go back and talk with Jack Quicksilver. And I think he'll tell us to meet someone in a different location. Yep. There's no point in me talking about anything random at the moment, everyone. We'll talk more about Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden in a few seconds. Because we have to walk down to the location. That will take a tiny bit of time. Now, if I messed up one of these quests, we won't be given the option to meet his leader. I think we did everything properly. The very first time I had done these quests with Garrett, I did not do the Foundry quest correctly. I broke that gentleman out of prison, escaping through a tunnel. And as such, that was not really what his organization wanted. So I did not realize that, but... What is this? Look! Hey! Another oddity! Old freight train log with all the cargoes of several weeks listed. Interesting but useless. What the heck? What the heck? What? How long was that sitting there? And I never noticed. Alright. Stygian Software. Now I know. Now I know you're doing this on purpose. There must be secrets in this game that no one has ever found. There must be, because how many people are swinging their mouse over every single thing they could possibly interact with? I've played this game for 1,405 hours, and I've never noticed that I could actually click on this before. Oh, man! Holy crap! I mean, it's just a train log. We would find, I think, we would max out on them eventually. But still, wow. Alright, Jack. Sorry, I got super distracted. Yeah? I'm done with Zander's assignment. Indeed you are. He gives you 400 Stygian coins. There you go. Anything else? I've done everything you asked, Jack. Now what? You indeed have. And with optimal results, even. This hasn't gone unnoticed. There's someone who wishes to speak with you. Travel to the caves below Lower Underrail and look for Azif in a place called the Hanging Rat. Alright. I'll look for Azif. He nods. Alright, let's go get that done. What the heck? What the heck? Right there in plain sight, and I've never once even noticed it. Oh man, I'm gonna be what is that now? I think that's like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 items we can interact with that never highlighted when I was holding down the highlight all the items I can interact with button. And I'm pretty sure now that it's not an accident. That Stygian Software didn't forget to add the pop-up for it. They're just hiding these to see if you are indeed searching for all the oddity items in the game. I suppose someone somewhere probably has a list of all of them. Unbelievable. Alright. Well, first off, we're going into the caves, so we should probably have a little something to eat. So, the closest way to get to the lower cave system would be to go to Rail Crossing, or possibly to go down one of the staircases nearby, like this one. I guess we'll go down the near staircase. Let's do that. It'll give me an excuse to do a little fighting and a little more talking. Alright, yeah, so for Forbidden Year Zero Road to Eden, I got involved in a few fights in the game that I totally didn't have to get involved in, because I thought when an enemy walks into... I thought the enemy's movement would determine if they saw my characters or not, but it doesn't work that way. As long as your characters are in hide mode, they will not be seen. Oh, we actually have to kill these rat hounds. They will not be seen by an enemy, even if the enemy walks directly in front of them. Or, like your character is like hiding behind a tree, and the character you're hiding from walks right in front of where your character is. Like, realistically, they would have seen him. And so I was starting combat in the game. Under the belief that my character was about to be seen, and this... Oh man, so many health kits used, and quite a few failed missions because of it. I was getting greatly demoralized with the game, thinking that it was just way too hard for me. So then, I went online and looked up some tips. And by that, I actually mean that I just watched a person or two do some of the early areas in the game so I could see if I was doing something wrong or not. And sure enough, I'm doing a lot wrong. As long as I didn't start combat, these creatures will walk right past your characters without ever seeing them. So, see this barrel right here? This could be one of my guys hiding, and I could be the NPC. The NPC could do this, and then would move on, totally not seeing my character. And as long as I didn't initiate combat, and as long as my character was in hide mode, they would not have seen me. So, but if I started combat, and the enemy was right there, they would have seen me at that point. So that was getting me killed, getting me in a lot of trouble. More trouble than it ever had to be. My goodness. So the game became really stupidly difficult to being something I could absolutely handle. And thus, I plan on starting over from the very beginning. And one of the reasons I'm playing this game right now, oh god, is because I have failed to successfully record the introduction for my redo of Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden 20 times, which took me about 40 minutes of attempts before I gave up. Be like, I'm just gonna play Underrail. Because at least then I don't have to try doing my 6 or 7 minutes of prep. Okay, and how are we doing this to start? So, let's hide around the corner. Let them get a little closer to me. We saw 2 side beetles and 1 gigantic side beetle. That looks terrifying! Alright, so let's start by throwing a flare. That's a great spot for it. And can we kill one of these to start? We'll let them get closer. Well, that really works out. Okay, so they're all right on the flare, which is exactly where I want them. Let's activate bullet time so we can kill most of these in one go. This is pretty much perfect. This one, they'll be unstunned next turn, which is when the Goliath loses its psychotemporal images? Pseudospatial projection. Right number of syllables, completely wrong words. Missing one of those punches will hurt us a lot. I forgot that this only affects, our ranged weaponry. So that's super useful that we are a hybrid. We'll just clean up the corpses to get them out of the way. If I recall correctly, we're not taking any biology with Decker, or at least I don't plan to. But I guess since we're here, let's fully explore this area. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to do the introduction to my videos. Those quick little like 5 or 6 minutes intros where I say, hello, welcome to this new playlist. There's a comment down below, which will have a link in it, let you skip ahead. And then I try talking about the game for a little bit. Often, I mess the talking about the game up for a little bit. I mess it up over and over and over again. And it's only like my 20th, 30th attempt that I actually managed to get it right. Usually after 10 failures, I will actually write up what I want to say and print it so that I actually don't have to waste another hour and a half of my life trying to describe the game we're about to play. So frustrating. And I really should print out things to talk about so that I can stay on topic and keep this all interesting for you guys. And I think we will walk on the other side of this because I do not have a lot of room to maneuver around that Goliath. Let's go around this way. Am I doing the fishing challenge? Where's that? Lower caves, I think, Tim. Okay, so we're fishing, so we should fish while we're here. What else is going on? So, with Biomutant, my first 6 videos on it, the gamma was set to being too low. I myself increased it on video 6, but my brother, who bought me the game, let me know. He sent a text to me telling me that, hey, your gamma's set so low, I can't see anything that's happening in the dungeon that you're adventuring in. And so I deleted all the videos I had already recorded so that I could fix it. And this turned out to be another blessing in a disguise. Because I couldn't get used to the camera controls in the game originally. It was pretty bad, actually. I think I lost my temper and swore in the game because of how awkward the camera is. So the game, Biomutant is like a much faster paced, like a Dark Souls / Hand of Fate / Devil May Cry game. There's combos in the game. Your weapons have certain animations when you swing them, and there's QTEs above an enemy's head letting you know when you should be pressing the counter button, or when you shouldn't attack them because they will counter you. And so there's that aspect of it, but also there's ranged combat in the game, and I'm playing a class called the Deadeye in it, which is a combination of ranged and melee. But the camera for the game is so different. It tries to figure out what your play style, because it acts differently for ranged combat than for melee, and it automatically tries to lock on to targets for you. You have no control over who it's really targeting, and it's very frustrating. I've gotten the hang of it after quite a bit of trouble, but oof, it was a very, very angry first 6 hours, and I was ready to give up and throw in the towel, given how terrible I thought the camera was. And it's still not very good, but it's not as bad as I definitely made it out as it made it seem earlier. That and the game set my difficulty to hard, even though I put it on medium. And from what I can tell, hard mode all hard mode does is make the enemies hit harder and become more bullet spongy as enemies. We can sprint into the corner. Hello, Goliaths. Guess what? Get punched in the face! This Power Fist is amazing! I'm gonna have a really hard time convincing myself to actually construct another one, because even if it does more damage, I have to choose between the stun, that 2% damage stun, or just doing electrical damage. I'm not sure which one of them I want. The Power Fist does both, which is awesome. Oh, I should have marked down okay, let's see. We've mapped out all of this room. I guess we should go fishing here too. Let's see, D9, south, east. South leads to the train by rail crossing, and this should be the Hanged Rat. So actually, let's go south first. So I have the excuse to do something. And we should go fishing. Right, we're looking for a phantom jelly and a ghost face. Alright, Tim, what else is going on? I guess I can tell you guys. So, the developer of Mainframe Defenders reached out to me on one of my videos about 2 or 3 weeks ago or so, and asked if I would mind if he uses my videos for his Steam advertisement page. I've never been so humbled by such an offer. There have been times when a developer for a game has left comments on one of my videos. In the past, I've gotten a few who asked if I would even play one of their games, but I've always, as politely as possible, declined that offer. I do not think I could be fair to the game if I was given it for free. And I'm always terrified of playing a game for my channel, recording it, and either doing poorly in it, such as with Biomutant or Mutant Year Zero, and then being overly harsh on it for problems that were of my own making. In the case of... Mutant Year Zero, it was my not really understanding the stealth mechanics very well in that game. And some other games, I would play them for a while, but then I would get really angry at the game for some new mechanic it would introduce, or something that would unbalance it later on. Currently, I'm going through Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark, and I'm being very frustrated by the AI in that game somewhat. I just had the AI kill the NPC guest I was supposed to keep alive over and over and over again by the AI's just throwing it into the middle of all the enemies, and the enemies kill it from full life to no life without me being able to do anything about it. And oh, that makes me mad. That makes me very mad. But I would feel too weird playing a game if someone asks me to play it. And it's one of the reasons also I feel so... awkward is the wrong term. I don't generally like crap. Well, I mean, I like crapping, but I don't like crap. Oh my god, Siphoner! Die, please, we can leave combat. It's why I'm very nervous when people ask if I would play a very particular game, since I do not know if I will like it or not. My biggest fear is that I'll start playing it, and then like 3 videos in, oh, I won't like it at all. Oh, and you know what? I had an experience of this sort. Was Thief... crap, what was it called? The Dark Engine? Yeah, I think that was it, right? The Dark Engine. Because when I started it, oh man! So, someone had recommended it to me, and I was like, okay, you know what? I'll give it a look-see. I like the Thief series. And, oh man, the difficulty was just through the roof compared to the normal Thief game. The AI's detection capabilities was phenomenal in the Dark Engine. And I had also been under the belief that the Dark Engine wasn't a game. It was indeed an engine, which lets you load other people's games. And I was right, that is what it was. But I didn't really fully... at first, I did not like the AI's detection being so good. I was completely unable to sneak behind someone and knock them out. They would totally hear my footsteps and whirl around to kill me. And it was only after dying quite a few times that I began to get used to the difficulty. And I had to practice off-screen, trying to understand what the AI could and couldn't detect. And in the end, I really liked it. But my initial reaction, oh man, I was ready to give up instantly. I was dying so many times. And then I discovered that you can actually lower the AI's detection. They didn't tell me you could do this. Like, the game engine doesn't hint this is a thing you can do, but you totally can do it. Right there in the game options menu. You can make it as dumb, I believe is what the devs have said, as the original Thief series AI, if you really want to. But I'm super glad I didn't, because that was a lot of fun. And another game I had played originally and liked it, but then really began disliking it, was Alice Madness Returns. And I think I just took down that playlist on my channel. Such a shame. Oh, that game just dragged on and on. And I'm going on all sorts of tangents. I don't remember how I started on this road. But now that we're here, I believe this is the Hanged Rat. Let's go ahead and go in and see if we can find Azif. You catch a barkeeper wiping a glass with a dishcloth, one which happens to perfectly match the color of his hair. Whether that is intentional or not, you aren't sure. He is one short but wiry man, covered in tattoos. He wears a number of rings on his fingers, with most of them looking like they were made from silver, but there are a few golden-colored ones among them as well. After he sets the now shiny glass and the dishcloth aside, he speaks to you. "Ah! You must be new around here, 'cause I ain't seen your ugly face here before. I'm Rob. I'll call you Ugly Joe from now on. What do you want?" "Yeah, well, you're ugly too. Even rat hounds run away from you when they see that mug. You're so ugly the earth started to weep so hard it caused a recent earthquake. You're so ugly, you'll cause another one." Nice comeback. Enough of this, Ugly Joe. What do you want from me? Are you this nice to all your patrons? I try to treat y'all equally respectfully. Sometimes. But damn it, Ugly Joe, you got the nastiest mug of all. The folks that walk through this place, I've seen some who look like they cleaned their face with rusty barbed wire. You're so damn rude. Well, you're so damn ugly. I really like Rude Rob. It's an appropriate name for him. Why'd you open a bar here? It's a long story. Want to hear it? Sure. To get away from your ugliness. Now what do you want, Ugly Joe? Show me what you got in stock. 8.6mm rounds. Looking for foodstuffs, pieces of scrap, and raw leather. So he'll buy the food. He'll buy some of the eels we picked up. So let's take a few charons off of him. So what is this place? Are you as blind as you're ugly? It's a bar, for rat's sake. It's the famous hanging rat. Why didn't you name it the Ugly Rob? That seems appropriate. I was thinking about it. But now that I've seen your ugly mug, I might change it to the Ugly Joe bar, or the smart-ass Ugly Sapiens bar. I actually like the last one. Where's the elevator go outside? It runs straight down to deep caverns from what I've heard. It hasn't been operational in decades, though, so if you want to go down, you should just jump. Might rearrange that face of yours or something better looking. No, but seriously, the fence is unstable. We already lost Mad Killian because of it. So, Ugly Joe, is there anything else I can get you? So, yeah, so that makes me think that he's just messing with us. Alright, I have to go. Take care, Rude Rob. This untidy woman quietly observes you as you come closer to her. Her eyes are big and vividly blue, with a hint of orange gold around the pupil, a very rare sight. Even though she doesn't utter a single word, her sad and lost look speaks for her, telling you that she needs help. Excuse me, are you okay? She frowns. Do I look okay to you? I've seen worse. Her left eyebrow raises ever so slightly. Worse than this? I'm not so sure. What do you want from me exactly? How about I introduce myself first? I'm Decker. Who are you? Her pupils dilate and wander off to the right. It's apparent that she is trying really hard to remember, but cannot. Frustrated, she replies, I don't know. I can't seem to remember. I try and I try, but nothing comes up. It's been a month, 2, 3. I just don't know. I don't know anything. Can I help you somehow? Information gained from her eyes and her words are in conflict. I don't need your help. Leave me alone. You can't possibly help me. Alright. So we don't have any persuade or intimidate, so we cannot learn her story. But, and I don't mean this jokingly, her pockets will tell a story about her. This tells us about her. An anarchist symbol. A well-known Circle A symbol, which represents anarchism. It's worth 3 oddity points, so we will take it. But more importantly, we've now seen that she has this. This will be important later on. A male figure stands unmoving before you, hands clasped in front of him. Most of his head is in wraps, except for a pair of pitch-black eyes. It is as if you stare into the abyss, only to discover that the abyss was staring into you long before you were aware of its existence, and the abyss embraces you. His fingers are the first to come to life, moving like the legs of a centipede. Then you hear a slow, offbeat voice addressing you. You have questions for me, yes? He moves his hands to the side and tilts his head slightly upwards. I am Azif, and I have been observing your performance keenly. I must say, watching you grow as an agent and take progressively harder tasks upon yourself, and then even executing them optimally, with thought and elegance, was not something I get to witness often. It was a pleasure to work on these missions. That is good to hear, for that means you'll find the following proposition enticing. We are the Eye of Underrail. We watch and wait for opportunities such as those you've been given, opportunities to obtain wealth, to gain better understanding of this world we find ourselves in, and perhaps to change its course for the better. We need people such as yourself, yes. People who understand that steering destinies requires a gentle hand, even though that very hand must occasionally hold a knife. We need people that value secrecy over glory, and understand the advantage of the defensive cover of an enemy. Do you understand? I think so. Yes, I think you do. Tell me then, is this something that you would want to be part of? Will you join our organization? What would I have to do? You should have a clear... Oh, what do? You should have a clear picture on how we operate by now. Yes. I wish to join your organization. His eyes move, but their uniform blackness prevents you from distinguishing the exact point of their focus. A single blink brings them to a stop. Excellent. Follow me. I've always liked games that do this, where you do get to follow someone or trail someone. I liked the Thief games that did this, Anachronox did this, the original Quest for Glory did this as well with you following the White Stag. In this case, I really like it because it's very powerful what happens when we go to where he's going. We just walked over here, and we saw that there was nothing here. We're here. A chasm? What are we supposed to do here? There's more than that here, but you'll need to look closer. Not with these eyes, he points to your eyes, but with your mind's eye. Allow me to help you with that. Oh, so no one can see it, but I have goosebumps all up and down my arms and legs. The first time I saw this was with Gabriel. I had never, ever watched anyone join Oculus. I never saw any of this. And oh man, I was not expecting something that looked like this first off, because this looks alien to me. And the fact that it was here, and other characters of mine wandered in here, didn't see anything, and I just assumed, well, this just shows that there's vast nothingness in the caves. And indeed, there is still the chasm here. But wow, I never expected anything like this. And I'd played the game for quite a few hundred hours before I ever successfully completed Azif's quest. Welcome to Oculus, Decker. By now, many questions have accumulated inside your head. I will try to answer them as best I can. What is this place? This is Oculus, the Eye of Underrail, yes. All important information finds its way here sooner or later. We use this information to generate profit and ensure our safety, survival, and prosperity. And also to make sure this place remains secret and undefiled. We have not built it and it is not ours, but we are its custodians for the moment. Who built Oculus? It was originally built by beings we, in the absence of a better name, refer to as godmen. We learned this much from the mainframe. We don't know for sure what its purpose was originally, but we assume it was similar to what we use it for today. To spy on people? Indeed. Although much of their machinery is broken or inoperable, those that we can still use give us considerable insight into what is going on in Underrail. That is why we call it Oculus. What is this mainframe you speak of? This thing here in the center, that's the crystal mainframe. I'm not completely clear on what it is myself, and it's even harder to convey that which I know about it. A supercomputer, a database, a prophetic machine, a sleeping god. It can be taken as any of these things, or it might be all of them. Those of us who can withstand its intensity have connected to it psionically to receive its knowledge and visions. This is dangerous business, though, and more than a few good men have been driven completely insane by its power. Interesting. Indeed. We are not going to try to connect to it. Deckard seems like the person who would not be interested in making the attempt. Who were the godmen? Oh wait, we already asked that. Wait, did we? I don't remember! Let's ask it again. Alright, who were the godmen? When the mainframe spoke to me, it uttered words in an unknown language directly into my mind. Among those were thoughts and concepts my mind had never encountered before, and had great trouble processing. Some of them still confuse me to no end and prevent me from deciphering the messages of the mainframe. Some of them, such as godmen, my mind could approximate. Know, though, that this is not a compound word in its original language. It does not stand for godly men or mailed gods. This much I know. What exactly it means is a part of the mystery, and for the same reasons I cannot explain the meaning of the word, I also cannot convey a lot of the things the mainframe told me about the godmen. Depending upon whether the messages are interpreted as history or visions, godmen are, were, or yet to be the masters of their galaxy, and all the universe that is within their reach. Their home is a moon, orbiting a gas giant. Where these celestial bodies are in relation to us, I do not know. They came into power by defeating the Leviathans, whom they greatly hate, though I know little about those. Godmen sit immortal on their moon, watching the universe through super telescopes. Their stars give them more power than they need, and they can fire their deadly weapons as far as they can see. Godmen have nothing to fear, except the dark, empty sonic expanses and primordial fires, though they highly prefer the latter. That is a lot to take in, is it not? Do not ask me what any of this means, though. I would not condition your contemplations with my own assumptions. I'd rather you produce something entirely new for me to consider. I love that description. It sounds very H.P. Lovecraftian to me, with the idea of this whole other group of extraterrestrial, outer planar, other dimensional creatures that are very powerful. And in this case, we're just watching this. Underrail, our planet. Actually, I don't even know if this is Earth or not. So the planet we find ourselves on. I prefer action to riddles myself, so I'll leave the mystery of Godman to you. He nods. Fairly well. So, what do I do now? I suggest you look around for a bit. Familiarize yourself with the equipment and your colleagues. Like yourself, each of them here are here for a good reason, yes. And when you're good and ready, come see me again. I have an assignment for you. I think we will return to Oculus later for that assignment. I did not attempt it at all with Gabriel, and I don't think it's going to be possible for us to do with Decker. I've heard it's something that you really, really, really want stealth for, and we don't have stealth. So I don't know if it's good, if we'll probably make an attempt or two, but a heads up that there will be quite a bit of reloading probably during the quest. Watch your step around here, Decker. I will. Thank you for warning me. Ooh! Crawler poison caltrops. We'll take those from you. Twitch is the master of surveillance. If you need his help, find him at the top of Oculus. We'll search your pockets as well. You could probably use a fusion cell. And your coins. It's a three-dimensional map of South Underrail. And you probably... Can you tell? If you look at this closely, you will see it does indeed look like the map that we have. See this here? Pretty cool, huh? I really like that Stygian Software did that. You find Abram leaning over what appears to be a three-dimensional map of Underrail, studying it intently. He shifts his attention to you as you approach. He starts to speak, but his voice comes out too raspy. He tries to clear his throat, but that results in a coughing fit. Finally, he composes himself and addresses you in his usual wheezing voice. I had a good feeling about you since the time you helped us free Mora. It does not surprise me that you found your way here. Well, I too knew you guys just weren't ordinary mercenaries. He just keeps wheezing through his mask and gives you a small nod. What the hell is this place, Abram? This is Oculus. The eye. What can you tell me about the Godmen? I do not concern myself with the Godmen. You would be better off talking to Azif about them. Though I personally don't put much stock in his theories. Why is that? Because I do not believe in gods. There were only ever just men, Decker. And these would not be the first to declare themselves divine. What Azif sees when he stares into that thing is at best the glorified history of its creators, and at worst, a megalomaniac fabrication. Both are quite common in human history. What's with the hologram? It's a geopolitical map of South Underrail. We keep track of various stations and communities of South Underrail and record relevant information. Can you share some of that geopolitical info? Which station or faction in particular is of interest to you? The places we track are marked on the map. Tell me about the Faceless. We do not know much about the Faceless. Their origins, numbers, practices, and motives are well hidden from the outsiders. Information I have is not solid enough to be shared yet, and I do not wish to perpetuate baseless tales. I will give you some advice, though, as I've encountered their groups in the past, even before this whole mess with Core City invasion started. Avoid the small groups. They are usually very focused on a certain task and often quite hostile. The big groups, on the other hand, tend to tolerate strangers in their vicinity as long as you don't interfere with them. It's best to just avoid them altogether if possible, at least until we can find out more about them. Any other place or faction you'd like to hear about? Core City. The largest station state of the South, by both population and territory. Core City used to be BioCorp's main urban hub that housed a number of R&D sectors. Following the Protectorate's takeover of BioCorp up north, the elements of discontent in Core City's hierarchy used the opportunity to stage a revolt. That revolt was led by second-in-command of the Core City security forces, Archibald Knight, who was later joined in this fight by Rupert Simons, one of the higher-ranking BioCorp technocrats. The revolt was successful, but eventually led to further infighting between Simons' newly established company, Cortec, and Knight's group, Praetorian Security. For several years, Core City was in a state of chaos as the war between the factions raged. At one point, though, as the threat from external organized gangs mounted, truce was established. Eventually, this truce turned into a long-term peace. An agreement was signed by Simons and Knight. This agreement settled most of the territorial disputes of the time. There was, however, still a lot of bad blood between the members of these factions, due to years of very brutal civil war. In order to vent the frustrations, an arena was created, or rather it came about on its own, an arena where people went to settle their disputes. In time, this arena grew, and became quite an attraction. Then, a powerful businessman, Gunnar Edstrom, arrived from the east. From the far east. Late, true, but it turned out late was just right. His newly formed company, JKK, joined in the blood sport business, complementing all previous efforts, and with that finally turned the arena into the tourist hotspot that it is now. Thus, the oligarchy was born. You'll have to forgive me. Sometimes I still say oligarchy for some reason, even though it is obviously oligarchy. Oligarch? Concerning the three factions today, they still compete against each other, often violently, but their desire to make money through the arena and trade overrides their desires to kill each other, and reins in any ambitions to become sole rulers of the city. There are very significant class divisions in the general populace. A great number of utterly impoverished people occupy a slum called Drop Zone, located on the fringes of the city. Violence and death is commonplace there. Even within the middle class, there is a lot of struggle for money and territory, and this has given rise to many gangs. Unless you are in upper echelons, Core City is a dangerous place to live. When it comes to foreign politics, status quo is again a preferred option for the ruling class. Core City is in a unique position to be both the only gateway between North and South, as well as Lower and Upper Underrail. They have contracts with Protectorate that allow the latter to maintain certain military presence on Core City docks, but the flow of troops from the north into their bases in the south is strictly regulated in a way that oligarchs consider it's necessary in order to prevent the Protectorate from becoming a threat to the city itself. How effective these restrictions have been is up for debate. Some argue that the oligarchs are making a mistake of allowing any troops at all to pass, since the Protectorate is establishing production facilities in the south that are capable of arming and outfitting these troops to boost their combat effectiveness, well beyond that which was initially estimated. Many also argue that if United Stations are to expand into the south, Core City must be the first station to integrate. Without it, the Protectorate has little in ways of pressuring those stations further south, since it would also suffer from the lack of reliable supply lines. We can see this in the case of Junkyard and South Railroad Outpost. Be this as it may, no offensive actions have yet been taken against Core City or its rulers by the Protectorate, and the United Stations politicians have also been quite careful in their political language when talking about potential integration, as to not jeopardize current arrangements. These days, it seems that the primary threat to Core City are Faceless, rather than the Protectorate. At least, that is the popular perception in the city. Any other place or faction you'd like to hear about? One more, Abraham. Tell me about Southgate Station. Even though it's not the most populous station or the most powerful militarily, it's still my belief. A violent coughing fit breaks him off. It's my belief that it's the strongest overall station in South Underrail. It's located far south, which makes it hard for the Protectorate to exercise significant pressure onto it, despite their junkyard outpost. Many ex-Biocorp members, some of which we suspect were very highly ranked within their previous organization, as well as many battle-hardened ex-gang members, made it their home. These are people with the know-how, gear, and connections, able and dangerous people. Southgate Station has close ties with Junkyard and Camp Hathor, both of which rely on Southgate Station's access to lower Underrail Metro network for trading. On the topic of... he coughs violently. On the topic of United Stations integration, the leadership of Southgate Station is split. There are people that believe the movement itself could usher in a new age of prosperity in which Southgate Station could play a significant role. Others, many of whom were victims of Protectorate's expansionism in the past, or are sought after by the Protectorate's Central Command, they would rather keep Southgate Station as an independent station. Any other place or faction you'd like to hear about? Not at the moment, Abram. Thank you for your time. He wheezes through his mask. Catch you later. Occult Whisperers. Hello. Let's search his pocket. Oh, I see this guy is into hunting, I suppose, in his free time. The robed figure quietly assesses you. Computer console, Oculus database, current level 1. So we can use this to look up information about particular people if we so desire. We have a keycard? Were we given a keycard to access this console? We were not. I think Abram has a keycard on him. Let's see if our pickpocket is high enough to take it. It is! I will leave it on him at the moment. Now, haven't been in Oculus with many of my characters. And I definitely have not swung the cursor over any of the any objects I can potentially interact with. So you're gonna see me do that really quick, looking for any potential secret oddities. And if there's oddities in any of these boxes, we're not gonna be able to take them because the hand turns red when we hover over them. The woman turns to you slowly and calmly. She looks at you with emotionless eyes, greets you with an impassive expression, and speaks to you in a toneless voice. Decker, I'm Phyllis, and I perform repairs on all Oculites, or if you prefer a different term, I offer medical attention. It's a pleasure, Doctor. The pleasure is mine. If you get damaged, do not hesitate to see me. During my time here, not a single one of my patients expired. I have no wish to expire. I'll see you if I need help. Please do. All treatment will be free of charge. You mentioned repairing Oculites? Yes, that is what I said. Why? Is that term bothering you in that particular context? It doesn't bother me, not at all. I just suspect that there is a reason for using that specific word in that context, and I'd like to hear it. Oh, in that case, I will give you an explanation, Decker. I understand that we, humans, have this belief that we are somehow special, somehow unique, and that we somehow possess a certain property, perhaps a soul, if you will. Some would say that we were created by a higher power, even. Whatever the specific case, it comes down to our lack of understanding, or better yet, our lack of knowledge about humans or other living creatures that makes us think so. From my perspective, the reality is different. When I look at a living body, I see the muscles that contract to pull the tendons that bend the arm. I see a heart, a simple pump, the most easily replaced organ, doing just that, pumping fluid. I see that same fluid containing red blood cells, which in turn contain hemoglobin, which contains iron molecules that bind with the oxygen, which is later carried to the cells to fuel them with that very oxygen. Fuel. It is all these mechanisms, chemical reactions, electrical signals within our bodies that make it function. And it is all these smaller living beings that make up a whole larger being that falsely considers itself a unique identity, one of a kind. It is made of flesh, true, but in essence it is nothing but a complex machinery, and those I repair. And only if I see it as such, a living machine, will I be able to reach a new level, reach new frontiers of medicine, and perhaps, one day, repair something we dare not touch. But we were observing it from the wrong angle, our perception impeded by false presumptions. There you are. And one more thing that I like to point out whenever discussion gets brought up, all living things, including us human beings, are mainly made from some of the most common chemical elements: hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and nitrogen. If we were somehow special, somehow unique, or yes, even created by something or someone greater, in case you believe something like that, then why aren't we made from, say, polonium or bismuth? Yes, that would make us very unique, don't you think? Think about it. I have not told you anything untrue. What can you tell me about those robed Oculites? Kazumamorkat. We call them Whisperers, but that is the proper name of the clan they belong to. They came from North Underrail, as I understood. I could be wrong, though. You will find them throughout Oculus, standing in silence, and almost completely motionless. Their task is to guard Oculus, but frankly, they have not seen much action, and you can presume why. At least not since I arrived here. You will get used to their presence soon. And if they see you steal anything, they will kill you. I'm adding that because they're all over the place and we can't interact with any of the boxes here. Or rather, we can't take anything from the boxes here. So, how and why did you join Oculus, Phyllis? Everyone in Oculus was carefully evaluated for a prolonged time before finally being approached with the offer to join. Such was my case, yet unlike most Oculites here, I did not seek Oculus. Oculus sought me. Care to explain? Certainly, most Oculites started out by performing smaller, simpler jobs. Then, naturally, as they progressed and displayed the ability to perform more difficult tasks, they were given more difficult tasks. And if they could perform even more difficult, they were given those. And so on, and so forth. I will take this opportunity, Decker, to say a few words about the progression of an Oculite. In Oculus, there are no ranks, levels, or titles to attain. We are all the same, and we are not. You will always be an Oculite, but some Oculites are better than others, and it is the level of your own skills and abilities that determine your duties, hence your place in Oculus, not hierarchical graduation. In any case, let's get back to the subject at hand. I was selected based on my performance as a physician, and my will to perfect my skills to the absolute maximum. I was approached and offered advanced medical knowledge, beyond what I had available at the time, in exchange for becoming a part of Oculus. I could not refuse. I do not regret my decision. Not even a bit. What can you tell me about Oculus? As far as I'm aware, unknown beings dubbed godmen by Azif built Oculus for purposes unknown. I have inquired about this subject on numerous occasions, but most of my answers can be summed up with, we're not sure, but we think. Living in a place you know little about can be both fascinating and frightening. And yes, I have emotions, despite what you may think of me. I noticed your stare. Now, fascinating, I think it is obvious why. Oculus is so much more advanced than anything that you will find outside of it. Also, every new discovery we make opens new possibilities and knowledge. Frightening, I think it's also obvious why. Ignoring the deadly drop, if you trip and fall into the darkness, which granted never destroyed any Oculus so far, who knows what else we will find here. Maybe one day our curiosity will lead us to our destruction. No one can tell for certain. Let me see what you have for sale, Phyllis. Oh, she has a cigar. We don't own a cigar yet. It'd be nice to have one now. You can turn in the cigar to a character in the DLC who will then give you some drugs that you cannot normally obtain otherwise. You'd have to make them. And since, again, biology is not... I don't think it's in the cards for Decker. I would not mind having access to some of those drugs. So I think we'll purchase a cigar for 400 charons. We'll take it. A compact roll of dried and fermented tobacco leaves, intended for smoking, has a calming neurological effect. Increases psi regeneration by 3, but reduces constitution by 1 for 2 minute. It doesn't last very long. And it requires a lighter. Interesting. How about that? And Phyllis, what do you have on you? She has some morphine. We will take that. And we'll take her cash. Alright, so there's several levels to Oculus. Let's go and talk with all the others that are here. So let's go to the lower floor. I don't think there's anyone important on the lower floor. Like, I don't think there's any named NPCs here or the like. Oculus is a truly breathtaking construction. So all these Oculites probably go on their own missions and what have you, similar to Decker here. I think it would be safe to say that they're all probably, well, maybe saying they're all of equal power to Decker would be a lie. But they are all, I think we should make the assumption that they are all at least skilled in whatever area of expertise that they have. Oh! Six is here. Holy crap. And the first thought that enters my mind is, pick the pocket. Pick his pocket. Because we'll never get a chance to do that again. Darn it. He's got nothing. Okay, he's smart. He's very smart. Holy crap. There's much that strikes you as wrong as you approach this person. He is quite tall and a bit too lean for a human. His mechanical prosthetic right arm and left leg are clearly visible. On both his mechanical and healthy hand, he has 6 long, thin, creepy fingers. His face is completely covered, and he appears to wear some sort of a metal mask with 4 protruding lenses, and there's another extension on his very forehead that looks like a sort of gun barrel. But instead of hair, rigid wires protrude from the back of his head. As you approach to converse with him, he waves you away. As he speaks, his deep rumbling voice feels somehow displaced, as if it's not coming out of his mouth. My business is with Azif. I just wanted to say hi. I have no desire to exchange pleasantries with you. Be on your way. Fair enough. Yes. We are totally going to ask Azif about 6. Holy crap! This person has a 120 quality assault rifle frame, a Chimera. We're taking that. I'm sorry. Based on the other items you have, I can totally tell you're into making your own weaponry, and you're probably making a much better assault rifle for your next trip out there to Underrail, but, well, that could net us like 250 charons. Probably closer to 800 after we make an assault rifle out of it, so your contribution to saving the world is appreciated. And I will forget all about this later. Wow, so 6 is here. So 6 knows about Oculus. Interesting. Oh, that's the gate. Sorry, I didn't mean to open that. I thought it was a box I could interact with. I find it hard to believe there isn't something I can interact with here at Oculus. Just waiting for my cursor to turn into a finger, but it's not working. Oh, we can search his desk? Oh. I'm not going to walk behind the counter for Constantine because I get the impression we might start combat if we do so. You come up to a tall man with a mildly irritated look on his face. Despite that, his tone of voice is generally welcoming and doesn't imply that your presence bothers him. And what do my eyes see? A newcomer. Welcome, Decker, to a place that doesn't exist. To most people. I'm Constantine, the Oculus quartermaster. Can I ask how and why you joined Oculus, Constantine? Well, we all go through a similar phase. You do small jobs, then if they like you, they give you bigger jobs, because they require more of your skills. You've been through it all. You know it. As to why I joined, it's so that I could stand around all day in this cramped, bloody, freaking pyramid bottom 2x2 platform. Oh! I apologize. It was a pursuit of work. Work brings money. Money can be used to buy food and equipment. So now I'm here selling equipment. For money! So we're not gonna... I believe if we ask this, he gets really angry. So we're not gonna ask for. Oh, who is that six-fingered cyborg? Six? Well, that's what we call him. Six, because of his fingers. Six. That's how many there are. Yep. In any case, I suggest you do not bother the cyborg, no matter how intriguing he might appear. He's not the most, approachable type, so to say. No one knows where he comes from, or what he's truly capable of. We only know he's a client, and that's all we need to. Still, you might try asking Azif about him. I wouldn't put my charons on getting an answer. Can I say something about the people in the Oculus? Who do you want to know about, Decker? Phyllis. Why her? Why'd you have to ask about her first? Couldn't have been anybody else, but you had to ask about her. What the hell was wrong with you, huh? That's so damn tiring. It's always her. It's always bloody her. I apologize for this. I really do. Can we not discuss other people in the future? Thank you. Thank you. I wonder if, no matter who you choose, he always says that's the person, like, why that person first. Alright, well, show me what you have in store, Constantine. He really doesn't want to be down here. What the heck is this? Oh yeah, I think I had seen one of these with Gabriel. I think these were added in one of the recent patches. Vanishing powder grenade. A makeshift grenade filled with vanishing powder that ignites on impact, generating a flash and lots of thick smoke that can cover one's retreat. Immediately enter stealth, disappearing from everyone's sight, and convert all remaining action points into movement points. That's pretty awesome. Alas, we are not playing a stealther. He's selling decent quality plasma cores. Interesting. We will want WTC bullets. Oh, shock shurikens. I forgot about these. These were also added in a recent patch. We can make lockpicks. Absolutely. I guess we'll take the jumping bean blueprint. If I do end up taking any biology, jumping bean will be a drug that I really do want to have. So he sells good level. I would say this is mid to upper level quality gear. Holy crap, and he sells high level tabby boots. But I hate to say it, I don't want the ninja tabby boots because that increases my chance to be crit by an extra 1.5%. So let's first buy these. And is he buying anything from us? No. Okay. And did I take paranoia on Decker? I did not. I don't think paranoia is in the cards for him. I had to bring up my build. I don't want to do that now. Okay. If I had paranoia, I would be willing to buy the tabby boots, since paranoia and the tabby boots' critical chances would nullify each other. But, well, I'm not, so. What do you need, Decker? What can you tell me about those robed occultites? Well, we call them whisperers. They are quite an interesting breed, I must say. They all belong to a single clan of Sai warriors who call themselves Kazum Wakat. Morak. Was that right? Morak? A very rough-sounding word, I know, but believe me, it fits them well. They were here long before I arrived. I think they're all from North Underrail. You will find them throughout Oculus, standing still, observing what happens around them, assessing everyone and everything. You can't initiate a conversation with them, trust me, I've tried. Especially that one in the corner of the platform. Well, what can you tell me about Oculus? Oculus? You came down here to ask me that? You expect me to answer your stupid questions? What can you tell me about Oculus? Go ask Azif, he brought you here anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I am a bit nervous. Alright, Constantine, how's it feel to be working in the lowest level of Oculus? Isn't it a bit cramped in here? Oh. It's cramped. Do you really think I haven't noticed? I can't even move a foot without bumping into something. All these bloody boxes. Wish I could just kick them all into the abyss. Ugh. I apologize. You shouldn't have witnessed that. I agree, the area is a bit lacking in terms of space. In addition, being in the lowest part of Oculus, I hear things trying to get in. What things? Well, crawlers, for instance. I can hear them climbing the walls. A faint sound at the bottom of the Oculus slowly comes closer and becomes louder. Then it stops. You forget about the creature, but it's still there. Maybe it can hear if there's something inside, something alive, something that can be consumed. But then the EDS fries the bugs. They scream as their smoking carcasses fall into the darkness. I hate them. I hate them so much, as well as those bloody lunatics. What's the EDS? Electrical Defense System. Not the official name, though. The original one is only known to whoever built Oculus. I have no idea how it works, but in essence, it sends a surge of electricity through anything it deems dangerous, frying it. And it's smart. The system knows what should and what shouldn't be killed. It can be, well, distracting at times, hearing burning lunatics scream and tumble into the abyss, but again, it also brings a smile to my face. Because I hate those bastards. You mentioned lunatics? You know who the lunatics are? Stick around and you might find out. Well, you'll hear them trying to climb the Oculus, for they reside very close to the bottom of it. Unlike crawlers, lunatics always come in groups. Did they ever make it in? Never. The EDS is there to prevent any unwanted entity from entering the Oculus. Lunatics are unwanted. Therefore, they end up as ashes scattered all over the cave floor. Personally, I've grown sick of those bloody idiots. It warms my heart to hear them die. You still didn't tell me who they actually are. Lunatics are, think of Ironheads and Lurkers, a bandit gang that is similar in size, but composing mostly of psionics. Powerful psionics while we're at it, but the trade-off is that they are insane and unpredictable. That is why the morons try to jump all over the bloody Oculus and disturb us. What a bunch of thick-headed cretins. Ugh. Alright, Constantine. Catch you later. Actually, let's look at him one more time. Do you sell gun parts? You do, but you don't have any pistol parts today. Says to Tim as he looks over at his cheat engine. So the cheat engine cheat was fixed. So the merchant refresh bug works again. It would be nice to have a better pistol. It's one of the reasons why I'm thinking of rushing through the story, so we can get a pistol before we begin, so we unlock the capability to purchase better quality frames from Oscar. in Core City, so I can actually make a better pistol. But if he sells high-quality frames... Oh, I'm out. I didn't bring any repair kits with me. Interesting. Okay, nothing up here I can interact with. The pale... Oh, sorry. There's things we can interact with, but there's nothing secret. At least I didn't find it. The pale, skinny man turns to you and instantly unleashes a torrent of words. The words are expelled with such speed that you find keeping track of what he is saying a great difficulty. His rapid twitchy motions and the constant need to alternate between looking at you and the numerous monitors in front of him is both intriguing as well as uncanny. Hey, you must be Decker. Good to meet you. I'm Twitch. As I said, it's good to meet you. I'm Twitch. What are you doing? Why are you doing that strange thing? Doing what? He looks at a monitor. Oh, wait, let me zoom in that one more. Shame. The resolution is far too low to do anything. I can't. Doing what, huh? Doing what? The multitasking. It's creeping me out, man. Can't you focus on one thing at a time? He turns towards you. If I focus on one thing, then I'm missing something else. I need to be constant lookout in order to register and process everything that's happening. Simply by focusing all my attention on you, Decker, I've already missed several important events. He looks at the monitors again. My way is the optimal way. Well, what do you do around here? Scrutinize, study, analyze, and extrapolate. Conclude, calculate. He focuses on something on one of the monitors. 17, I should write that down. Yes. Technology allows me to merely observer. I perceive only what a few can, so if you ever need some surveillance help, I'm your man. By the way, is that a bald patch on your head? Maybe it's just a lighting. He looks at the monitor. Oh, how and why did you join Oculus? I was skilled enough to be... He looks at the monitor. What is he doing? Get out of there! He returns to you. I was skilled enough to be invited to meet Azif. Just like you, I started doing small-time jobs here in Core City for people who later turned out to be... Oculates? There? Anyway, I need the money for my addiction. Those are hard times. I'm off this stuff now. I said I'm off this stuff now. He looks at a motioner. At a monitor. Motion? He laughs. No, motion is weak compared to what I did, Decker. Yes, weak compared to what I did. It's called SSSDMT7. Don't ask me about the gauntlet. Anyway, I was approached and told that I had done well, and I had a crippled perception that Zeke would like to talk with me. So I casually strolled through the caves, and that's huge. He looks at a monitor. So, who is that six-figured cyborg? A client. Do not talk to him. He doesn't want to be talked to. I said not to talk to him. He leans towards one of the monitors. Interesting. He was alive a few minutes ago. Well, can you tell me about those robed oculates? He answers you while still watching one of the monitors. Quickly knows whispers. The dead cyborg warriors belonging to a clan called Kazuma Markat guard Oculus vigilantly. All Kazuma Markat members are highly intelligent individuals who decline at a young age and receive training in all major side disciplines. Only upon mastering all of those can they swear an oath to be allowed to perform their duty. Or once they swear to protect someone or something, they will do it until death. Most often, it's the death of their opponents. Rare are these cases, and the numbers of Kazuma are killed on duty. There is a common misconception they are mute, while in fact they are not. It's by their free will that they choose not to speak in order to... that's all I can tell you at the moment. I said that's all for now. He focuses on one of the monitors. Okay. Goodbye, Twitch. That was my first attempt at speaking really quickly. A vigorous belt, that makes sense for him to have. How about it? We'll take your coins. And there's a computer console up here that we can interact with. It's a... I think this is this console accesses the same database as the one downstairs does, I think. It would make sense for there to be another one up here so that Twitch could access it in case he needs to update some sort of information somewhere. Or look up information. Alright, so that is Oculus, everyone. Let's talk with Azif about 6. We'll get the mission from him. And then we will call it a session. Oh, actually, maybe we'll just talk to Azif. We won't get the mission from him yet. Yes? Who is that six-figured cyborg? He is a client of mine. Do not bother him. He's not a very talkative fellow. Alright, Azif. I'll see you later. Alright, everyone. And that was quite a bit of talking. We've actually done quite a bit of dialogue the past few videos. So... we'll call it quits here. But I'm probably going to be shopping at the shop here for a better pistol frame. And when we come back, I will hopefully have one, and we will be making a better pistol. And then we will be ready to either tackle the Ironheads, or do more arena, or possibly explore more of the cave systems down here. I would really like to have a better pistol, because we might really want even the slight damage increase to help us deal with Deathstalkers. Right? I don't think have we successfully killed one yet? I don't know. But we'll find out in the next episode, so I'll see you guys then. Take care, everyone.